All right, everyone. So, welcome you all again in the Gune technology, right? So, we are going to discuss now about the Zscaler Internet Access Forwarding Mode fundamentals, right? So, till now we have done discussion about that, GCC client connector fundamentals. So, similarly, we have to understand about the Zscaler forwarding modes fundamental, and later stage we'll do the deep dive as well, right? So we'll have to understand how my traffic can be forwarded from the client machine to the end destinations, right? And what are the way that traffic can be forwarded, so that we have to understand. Okay, so let's start, right? So we'll go step by step. So I little bit explain you the forwarding mode from the GCC client connector uh, when you just define the app profiles. So the first method we have, that is known as a tunnel 1.0. So this tunnel 1.0, likewise I mentioned, this tunnel 1.0 is going to be, this tunnel is going to be created from the user app connector profile, means the user app connector software which is just installed in the user machine. And after installing that all, your traffic is going to be either forwarded via the on the port 443 or the port 80. This is the only two way. So what is going to happen? So the HTTP connect, like the connection HTTP connect tunnel kind of the connect is going to be created via the tunnel 1.0. So any traffic you want to send, that is going to send via the HTTP connect method from that user machine to the nearest gen under the tunnel 1.0. But there is another option also. So let's say suppose you having any system proxy option, like you having the local pack file created. For some reason you want to create the any pack file and all. So that also come in a picture. That also come in a picture, and that pack file is just going to be, play a very vital role for the forwarding the traffic. To just bypass some traffic you want to send directly, not via the Zscaler, or you want to segregate some kind of the chain based on your choice, that also like available, right? So regardless of this connection scenario, whether you connected to the on trusted network, whether you connected to the off trusted network and the VPN network. So I mentioned like what is the on trusted, means you are in the office, right? What is the off trusted? That in you are roaming, right? Roaming. And what is the VPN trusted? That means some network which must be routed via the your trusted network, means your VPN gateway. So if you want to use the VPN gateway to just send the traffic, then it is come under VPN. So either of the way you connected, the forwarding profile must be configured while doing the your forwarding profile configuration on the GCC client connector portal. So while doing the services, means the forwarding profile configuration, the first choice is the tunnel 1.0 is coming up picture, and this is a default way to send the traffic. The first way and default way means you can use this method to just forward the traffic, right? And you want to change it, that is also possible. If you want to change, it is also possible. So what is going to happen? The first choice itself going to simply create a tunnel, that is a tunnel 1.0, meaning that the client connector will establish a lightweight HTTP connect tunnel, right? Let me just write it here. Whenever you just create this tunnel, that means your the software, the client connector software is going to establish lightweight, very lightweight HTTP connect, right, tunnel toward the chain on port 443. So this is the by default behavior, and where it is going to be establish this tunnel, that is the closest healthy public service edge or chain Zscaler enforcement node, means your nearby data centers, which is the Zscaler, which is hosted in the cloud. So that is going to be sent, and this tunnel is only capable to carry the traffic, only capable to carry the traffic, that is the port 80 and 443. But even all traffic by default, all traffic by default for the port 80 and 443 can be forwarded to the G tunnel to the any destination if we having them some kind of the like the bypass option available. So if you're using the pack file system proxy configuration, right, and you want to send some URL traffic, like you want to send Teams traffic from the user machine direct to the internet, that option also available. You cannot, send that traffic to the gen for some reason. So that is also available. You can send the traffic directly to the, you know, by using the system proxy configuration. So we having the option. I'll show you how the pack file is going to be configured in the later stage, but yes, you can do that, right? So this is the second, you having the bypass option, right? But any scenario you want to send the traffic, that is a 1.0 only capable to the this kind of the port 80 and 443. So you can see here when you can do the VPN gateway configuration, you want to do any kind of the VPN gateway bypasses, right? So we having a lot of option, right? So when we understand this is going to build the HTTP connect lightweight tunnel, then we have to configure the forwarding profile, that is system proxy profile, where we can do some kind of bypasses. But additional feature also we have, app profile also we have. So app profile is going to create it on the GCC client connector portal. We'll see later stage, but you just have to understand all the story, you have to digest first, right? So app profile, you just have to note this word, what is a forwarding profile, right? We'll see how it is going to configure. You have to understand what is a G tunnel. You have to understand what is the app profile. So this is another way. Forwarding profile is different. App profile is different, right? So there is a forwarding profile also on the GCC, but that is the second scenario. One forwarding profile that is going to configure a system proxy, that is a pack file, pack auto configuration, and one forwarding profile that is configured on the GCC client connector and app profile. So this app profile, in this app profile, you can also define some custom pack file informations. There is an option you can, I'll show you later stage how the custom pack file can be also, you know, deployed there. So if anything you want to check from the custom pack file, that is also possible. You can check that. In addition of that, if you want to bypass any kind of the VPN gateway, means any network, any subnet, which not to be sent via this Zscaler, or you want to send that direct, that also you can do the bypass. Here's the option. You want to define any pack file to specify for the service edge, means you don't want to send the traffic from the client machine to nearest close healthy gen. Even I am in Delhi, but I want my PC always form the tunnel with the Chennai, so I can do that. So I have to make the my pack file system pack file configuration, where in that pack file I can do some kind of the modification where my service edge can be the my choice, multi-connect environment can be used, right? So this is also option I have, right? Global destination bypass, I want to do that, that is also possible, I can do that, right? So this is the like the how it is going to be happen. So in Zero Trust Exchange, this all 1.0 is going to be enabled by default, and pack file is going to be come in a picture if you want to do any kind of bypass based on the internal destination, based on the URL, based on the any kind of the external destination, based on the any kind of the specific country based destination address, that is also possible. You can do that, right? So let me think what else I can add it here. So I believe we are good till here. 1.0 is quite straightforward, but we'll do the again some comparative analysis in this 1.0 tunnel. Okay, so let move me, another method, that is a 2.0 tunnel. Okay, so let me move it here. So now this tunnel is something different than the tunnel 1.0. This tunnel is something different than tunnel 1.0. And what is different in this tunnel? So first you can see earlier tunnel was created on the basis of the HTTP connect method, and that was a lightweight tunnel, and that is under the 443 HTTPS based tunnel we created. But in this method, GCC client connector forwarding mode for 2.0, we are going to build the tunnel type. Either could be the TLS tunnel, this could be the TLS, or could be the DTLS. This tunnel is going to be created. So we have the option while we are going to configure that app profile or forwarding pack profile on GCC client connector portal. So we have the option. By default, it is going to select the DTLS. This is the default method. This is going to try. But if you want to change it, the TLS, that is going to be changed as well. So what is a TLS and DTLS? TLS is a transport security, transport layer security and datagram transport layer security. This is a layer 4 protocols. Layer 4 protocols. So these are the highly secure tunnel that is going to be created, right? And under this tunnel, you can send any type of traffic, not port 80, not port 443. If you want to send the 23 port traffic, 22 port traffic, 53 port traffic, any other port traffic, custom port traffic, that is going to be possible, right? So this tunnel 2.0 option is a tunneling mode for the PC or any laptop that supported the forwarding to all IP unicast traffic, all IP, all ports unicast traffic to just any port number, any protocol number to the any nearest closest gen, right? Unless or until you are doing any kind of the specific pack system pack file configuration, that can be possible. And that also when we use the G tunnel 2.0, the client connector will first establish a TLS tunnel to the closest healthy node, right? GIA service edge as a control channel. So this TLS connection is going to be established as a control channel, and it will then set up the encrypted data tunnel using the DTLS or TLS. So the control channel, right? The control TLS control channel always going to be created by other your means this is a TLS, right? TLS connection. And then once you have the TLS connection is set up, there's a control, then you have to set up the data connections. So that could be DTLS or TLS both. So your data is always going via the data, this green path, and control channel is going to happen in the this red path. You just have to understand like the minor difference. So sometime in interview, people ask that when the TLS is going to be created from the G kernel 2.0, when the DTLS is going to be, what is the control and data tunnels. So you have the very clear understanding. So the clear understanding when you are going to build the control tunnels, it always with TLS, not DTLS. But once the control tunnel has been built and you want to send the data, then by default it is going to select the DTLS. You can fall back to the TLS as well, right? Depending on your configuration. But let's suppose there is some problem in the 2.0 while configuration while forwarding the traffic. So there is a another provision that can be automatically fall back. All the traffic forwarding method is fall back in tunnel 1.0. There is also option available. So we just have to understand this part as well. So some region I'm not able to send the traffic to destination, and that need to be fall back. That is going to happen on the tunnel 1.0. So control channel, that is always TLS. Data channel going to build after the control tunnels and control channels, and data tunnel can be the DTLS or TLS. By default is a DTLS and it can be fall back to the TLS, and it all goes down in 2.0, then it is going to fall back to the 1.0. So I hope you guys got this right. So what next? So there is an option, right? We'll discuss about the packet filter based driver and the route based driver, right? How it is going to happen. So that is a different story that I'm going to explain in a different section. How this packet filter based driver come in a picture, how the route based driver come in a picture. But let's understand the overall the forwarding method first. Then we'll do the deep dive also, right? So till now we understand gtunnel 2.0 is the only available in the PC platform, like with the computer and all, right? So you can build the tunnel from there, and that can be the either support only with this, can be only support, this tunnel can only support with the packet filter based driver, not the route based drivers, right? Route based, if you are use the default routing and all, that is not going to be support, right? So I'll discuss separately how the route based traffic is going to be forwarded, how the packet based filter is going to happen. There is a various method we have, so let me just show you a little bit. So we having the different way. Tunnel 2, tunnel 1.0, we having the route based mode when we having a default route. I'll explain in later stage how it is going to happen. Then default route is going to be installed in the user space, and they are all going to forward toward the routing engine and all traffic, and then default route is going to forward to the client connector, and then things is going to happen. I'll explain in very detail. So this is the tunnel 1.0. We having option tunnel with the local proxy that going to loop back address is going to listen on the port 9000 by default. You can customize then how the traffic is going to forwarded. Then we have an enforce proxy, sorry. Then we having the tunnel 2.0. Here we have to use the packet filter, not the routing engine. So this is what they are talking. So packet filter is like the one of the option available in the system user system machine, and that is going to do the packet filter whatever the packet is coming, and then they are going to check the inclusion exclusion gateway bypasses. Then the traffic is going to forward to the app profiles in the client connector, and then they are going to destination. So we'll cover in the later stage how this all deep dive is going to happen. But yes, this 2.0 only support packet filter based driver in a window. So what is going to happen? So optional protocol selection DTLS and TLS, right? And the fallback method we have that everything is working not good, then it is going to fall back. That is the tunnel 1.0. If something not good with the 2.0, right? So after that, we having the more option, right? So what is the more option? This also give the option to just do the system proxy configuration, where you can do the some kind of the bypasses you want to do from the system proxy. That is also available. Protocol option, fallback option, MTU setting, system proxy option, these all are available even the tunnel 2.0. So if I want to do some kind of the bypasses directly from the my pack file which is available in the system machine, that is also possible. I can do that. Okay. So moving next, right? So in this section, you can see here, we having the again app profile. So similarly in 1.0 also having the app profile. Similar here, you find some kind of the inclusion and exclusion. So earlier we having the bypasses. See, we having the gateway bypass, subnet based bypass, global bypass. But here the term is coming as the inclusion and exclusion, right? So this VPN gateway bypass will remain available here. If you want to do any kind of VPN gateway bypass, you can do that. There is no problem. But that is for your trusted network VPN, means that you want to send your traffic from the direct user machine to the VPN gateway, and then it is going to reach to your internal network. Any subnet, let's suppose your organization having some private subnets. This private subnet, I'll show you in later stage, could be the 10 dot this series of subnet, or might be this series of subnet. This cannot be routed on the internet. So why you want to send this on the internet, right? So 0.0/16. So these are the private subnet. This should be not route to the internet, right? So why I should try to reach out to this subnet via the Zscaler? No, I can go directly via the internal network. It could be more. I'm just giving the examples. So inclusion means you want to send the traffic. Inclusion means you want to send the traffic via the Zscaler. Exclusion means you don't want to send the traffic via the Zscaler. Okay, so that is exclusion. So if you are excluding something, that means you are doing the bypass. That subnet is never going to means that subnet traffic never going to Zscaler. Include means you are just trying to. I'll show you how the configuration is going to happen in the later stage. Similarly, we having the pack file to specify any service edge you want to do the bypass. Not you want to go with the global like the culture where the geo based selection is going to happen. You want to do by your own. That option is also available. You want to do some kind of the global bypasses, that is also available with this 2.0. So I hope it is pretty much clear, right? About this VPN gateway bypass, subnet exclusion, inclusion, app profile. So that traffic is all going to direct. But if you are not doing bypass VPN and all, they always going via the tunnels. They always going to via the tunnels. So bypass is always going to destination, and all means this is a different method. So that is going to be tunnel out to send direct traffic to the all destination directly via the internet. Now the third option we have tunnel with the local proxy. We have to understand this block diagram also. I'll explain in the next stage how this is going to be happen. But let me explain first this one, then I'll explain later stage how it is going to happen. So the third method we having tunnel with the local proxy. So what is meaning of the tunnel of the local proxy? So first thing you have to understand tunnel with the local proxy that always going to build again lightweight tunnel based on the HTTP connect lightweight tunnel and always going to work with the tunnel 1.0. It is always going to work with the tunnel 1.0. So why I'm using tunnel with the local proxy if I having the tunnel 1.0? This could be the one question is going to come in your mind, right? Why I need to use this? So I have the very uh, good here one of the tunnel with the local proxy you can see. So you can see here some kind of the comparative analysis I have done here. So forward all standard web traffic that is possible. Standard web means port 80 and port 8443. That is going to be 1.0 tunnel with a local proxy 2.0 in force proxy. That is also available. Forward all web traffic on non-standard port. So this option is not available with this tunnel 1.0, but this is available with tunnel with the local proxy. Still, this is the tunnel 1.0, but it is using tunnel dot local proxy. So you can have the ability to send all non-standard port also traffic by using the tunnel 1.0. This is the key thing. Okay, you just have to understand, right? So transport forwarding include non-proxy aware app. This is not possible. You cannot do it this one. If you want to use the unified authentication symbol, this is possible in both way. So all are similar except this also co-exit with the default route VPN in the Mac OS. This is also possible. This is not possible in this one. Okay. So main key difference, what is the use of the tunnel with the local proxy? Means the tunnel 1.0 having the limitations that can only send the traffic on the port 443 and 80. But if I want to send the all type of traffic, there is an option. I can use the tunnel with the local proxy. And how it is going to be work, tunnel with the local proxy. So tunnel 1.0 with the local proxy is just going to listen to the loopback address that is 127.0.0.1 on the port 9000, and all traffic is going to send to here, and then it is going to send to the client connector, and that client connector is going to send all traffic to the Zscaler unless or until we having some bypass on the my pack file or my the forwarding profile which is created or app profile I created on the GCC client connector portal. So that is not going to be sent, right? So moving here, so tunnel gtunnel 1.0 for the all HTTPS traffic regardless of the port, you can see that is going to be sent to the destination. You don't have to worry about. And how it is going to send, that is via the HTTP connect lightweight tunnel is going to be created from the user machine to the destination, and then it is going to be sent, right? Additionally, forwarding profiles options pack file required for the mandatory loopback gateway address that bypasses you can define. That option you just have to configure. Without that, you cannot do that. So what is going to happen in this scenario? With this option, I mean the tunnel with the local proxy option, the traffic that follow the proxy definition, the traffic which is going to follow the proxy definition, primarily that is the HTTP or HTTPS, will be forward to the loopback address on port. What is the loopback address? They are going to use the loopback address that is a 127.0.0.1 on the port 9000. This is by default, right? This port can be customized, you can change that, but this is by default setting we have. So always this is going to listen on the loopback address on port 9000. So client connector will listen that particular loopback address on the port number and proxy the traffic on the configure port, and that is going to use the nearest closest GIA healthy tunnel to just send the traffic. So after listening those traffic which is coming on this port, they are going to send the traffic to the nearest GIA. And then our forwarding profile come in a picture. In this forwarding profile, we having the option, we can define some kind of the URL for the custom pack file. You can apply the GPU update. Any custom pack file you want to apply, that VPN gateway macro, that is going to be dollar that gap that underscore local underscore the proxy. This way it is going to be written. Let me just write. So macro you just have to write in the pack file. So it could be look like in this. So you just have to write some kind of the proxy definition. So this could be the local, right? And this could be the proxy. So this could be the like definition you have to define which proxy, which I want to bypass, which I want to use. So there's a lot of proxy setting in the my that is a proxy pack file configuration is going to happen. The URL that bypasses also we can define it here. So I'll show you in the later stage how it is going to happen. Okay. So if there is no custom file specify, the system will use the default pack file, which is the going to be generated from the Zscaler. If you are not going to configure the pack file when using this particular tunnel with the proxy, they are going to get the default pack file, and in that we having a predefined some kind of the like the VPN gateway bypasses some the nearby like the my Jane that automatically going to be selected. You don't have to do anything. And the most important thing, so this pack file which is going to be configured for this local proxy configuration applied into the forwarding profile mode on the GCC client connector. So if there are any bypass to destination, that must be defined only in this mode. So if you want to do any bypasses, you just have to define, and they can be added in the pack file. And also the pack file is also going to be refreshed after the every 15 minutes. So if you want to do any kind of the refresh, you want to do any kind of the updates, that is going to happen after 15 minutes only. So the key takeaway, Zscaler tunnel 1.0 local proxy can send all traffic to the Zscaler. That was having a limitation dot 1.0. They only send the 1.0. But here you have to use the pack files. Pack file also going to always listen the traffic which is coming on the means the user machine traffic just coming from that user space. They are going to listen the traffic on the loopback address 127.0.0.1 on port 9000. That is going to listen and forward it to the client connector, and that is going to send to the destination. But in the same time, pack file also going to be configured where you have to define if you want to do any kind of bypasses and all. That is also going to be part of this forwarding method. Then again, you having this gateway bypasses. You want to bypass any the VPN gateway. If you want to pack file services, you want to global bypass, that is also available to do that, right? So this is our like the pack file. Means the forwarding profile for the tunnel 1.0, the local proxy. Now we having the third option, the enforce proxy. So what is the enforce proxy? So enforce proxy, you can see there is no tunnel. So if you are just going to define the enforce proxy, let me show you a little bit here. So in enforce proxy, there is no tunnel. Means you are going to send the directly traffic from the user machine to the gen. There is no tunnel is going to be required. Okay. So there is no client connector even it's there. So you want to bypass anything, it is going to bypass, and the traffic is going to send directly to the internet. So no G tunnel is going to be required either by the DTLS, TLS or HTTP connect. Okay, the traffic is proxy to the loopback gateway and the client connector listen on. So your traffic which is coming from the user machine where the client connector is configured based on the HTTP and HTTPS, right? The forwarding method enforce proxy where client connector enforce either the pack file configured on the browser. So the pack file system proxy pack file is come in a picture which is configured in the browser, or specific pack file you want to configure. No G tunnel are used if the device user reconfigure the proxy setting, client connector will immediately change them back to apply the specific pack file. So in short, in this case, your system pack file is going to be required, right? And also that, client connector must be required one time in normal process, right? The client connector also going to require one time in normal process to work in this mode, and forwarding option like also not going to be, similar to the G tunnel. There is no G tunnel is going to be required, right? But they are going to just work as a legacy agent mode where the traffic is going to be proxy to the end destination and based on the browser setting, right? So this is my the, enforce proxy. So you can see here one time involvement into the client it's going to be required, character is required, and browser authentication the GIS service that is going to be required, and forwarding of profile is not to be configures the system proxy option. So this all is going to be required. And once you have this directly from system, you just send the traffic to the gen. And if you want to bypass anything, if you want to any bypass you want to do that, then you have to do in the pack files, or VPN gateway bypass you want to do that, just you have to do in the forwarding profiles, and bypasses is going to be created. VPN gateway by app profile bypass you just have to do there, and then after your traffic can be bypassed. So this is how it is going to happen. So the most things enforce proxy basically it is going to come in a picture when there is no tunnel is going to be required. System proxy directly going to send to gen, and based on the your client profile configuration bypasses, the traffic is further going to be tracked. So I'll show later stage also how this is, because the configuration part will do separately how it's going to look like, and I'll show each and everything step by step. Okay, so this is the enforce proxy, right? This can be automatically deducted when the setting whatever you want to configure, right? It also use the, GPU any kind of update. It use the pack file automatic configuration script you want to use to update, that can be also, available. So the last option we have, is a none. So what is none? None is you don't want to send any traffic to Zscaler. Means your Zscaler is completely going to be bypass. So this is a none. So your traffic is going to send from the user machine directly to the internet. No Zscaler traffic is going to be sent. So this is the like the uh, mode where you don't want to send the traffic to the Zscaler, right? So this is none mode. So really, if you're using the Zscaler services, so this is not recommended to use a none. So you just have to summarize gtunnel 1.0. We have to understand how the default route come in a picture, how the bypasses is going to happen. So I'll explain these all step in one separate session. Okay, so you guys can understand in a block diagram point of view. But for time being, you understand these are the process how my traffic can be forwarded from the client connector machine to the Zscaler. And when you don't want to forward, then no traffic will forward to Zscaler with the none mode, no authentication required. Optional system proxy section network changes that can be auto detected, configuration script, proxy server GPU that can be also used, right? So the next we'll understand how the authentication and the client connector IDP is going to come in the picture, right? So we'll cover this one in the next section. So thanks for watching and have a great day.